Well, students, in this second part of our lecture on the poem I Dream a World, we will go through some important points related to the poem and the poet. So first of all, introduction to a very brief introduction to the poet. James Langston Hughes was an American poet. He was born on 1st February 1902. He died on 22nd May 1967. He was a social activist. A social activist is one who acts, who participates in activities related to social change, social issues. So he was a social activist in that sense. And in the background of America, especially in this period from 1902 to 67, a social activist was usually involved in protests and other activities against social discrimination, racial discrimination, discrimination on the basis of color, etc. He was also a playwright. He wrote plays and a novelist. The poet dreams of a world. The world must be a place for every man to live without any racial boundaries. So it's the theme of the poem. The poet has the dream of a world where all the people will be living peacefully and equally without any racial boundaries. There won't be any boundaries set on the basis of racial differences. There should be harmony and freedom in that world. Harmony is peace. So in such a world, there will be peace and there will be freedom for all. The poem is an example of personification. So here, the poet has used different personifications. A personification is attributing human qualities to non-living things. Attributing human qualities to non-living things. Now the world or the earth in that sense is non-living. But whatever the poet has said about the world and the earth has brought it out as a person. So he has personified the world, the earth. The poet has used abstract nouns. Abstract nouns, are the nouns which we can't touch or see, which we can't perceive through our senses. However, we may describe them, we may discuss them, we may talk about them. They enhance our mind to connect ideas and images. To enhance means to strengthen. So they strengthen our mind, they make our mind strong enough to connect ideas and images. Whatever ideas and through whatever images the poet is presenting those ideas, we are able to make that connection. We are made to think deeper of the true meaning. And in that way, the poem becomes more meaningful. It has a deeper meaning, underlying meaning are also there, and we may be able to understand those underlying meaning. World without discrimination. Discrimination, is differentiating, making difference on the basis of race, color, language, national background, whatever. In the first 4 lines of the poem, it's not poem, it's poem. So in the first 4 lines of the poem, whose dreams of a world where man lives in harmony with other men. So, in the very beginning, in the first stanza of the poem, whose has a dream of a world where all men are living in harmony peacefully with other men. In this world, no one looks down on anyone else. To look down upon others, to scorn others, to make fun of others, to ridicule others. There isn't any racial difference, any discrimination, and no one is making fun of others. The poet wishes that love and peace should rule his dream world. So it's his wish, it's his dream that the world is without any discrimination, and love and peace rule the world. We know that in the real world, men do look down upon other men. However, we know that in the real world, in the practical world, there are always some men who look down upon others because others may be different from them in many respects. In wealth, for example, someone may be very rich, some other person may be quite poor. So the rich people may look down upon the poor. Similarly, some people may be white, their color may be white, and they may be beautiful in other respects. Some other people may not be white, they may have a dark color, and they may not be so beautiful and attractive. So on such basis, people tend to look down upon others. This was especially in terms of skin color. Especially in America in those days, skin color was considered to be very important, and people were given high rank or low rank on the basis of skin color. The white people in America of the early 20th century considered the colored people as second-class citizens. There is no need of as here, as is wrong. So white people in America in the early 20th century regarded the colored people as second-class citizens. They thought of them that they were second-class citizens. They didn't like them to enjoy the same rights, same comforts of life. This created hatred instead of love among people. So because of this discriminatory attitude and treatment, there was hate among people, there was hatred, there was detestation, there was dislike among people, and love no more existed there. The poet hated this. However, the poet hated this attitude, this treatment, and he wanted the world to be free from these evils. World with freedom. The poet dreams of a world in which everyone will both want and have freedom. He has a dream of a world where people will wish freedom, and not only wish but actually enjoy freedom. In this dream world, greed and materialism will no longer ruin humanity. Now, why is it that some people are free and some others are slaves? If we try to explain this attitude in one word, we may say that it is because of greed. It is because of materialistic attitude. Because we want more and more wealth. We want more and more comfort. We want more and more luxuries. And we tend to make poor people, weak people, our slaves. It is our materialistic attitude. So, he dreams of a world where materialism and greed are no longer destroying. Ruin means destroy, spoil humanity. In the real world, only certain men enjoy freedom of choices. In our practical world, the fact is that even those who are not outwardly slaves, who are not externally slaves, even those people are unable to make their free choices because they don't have many resources, they don't have money, they don't have power, they don't have authority. So only certain men, only a few men are there who enjoy real freedom. Such men exploit the other men. So these wealthy and strong people, powerful people, exploit the other men. To exploit is to use other people, to use their energy, to use their talent, to use their time to get maximum benefit out of them for oneself. That is exploitation. In Urdu, it is called istehsal. Exploit is to use, but to use for one's own sake, in one's own interest, for one's own benefit. So that is exploitation. So powerful men exploit weak people. This makes the poet feel unhappy, and because of this, the poet becomes sad. World without equal opportunities. Who says that in this world, in his dream world, all races will have equal opportunities for success? So it is real justice, it is equity, it is fair play, that all classes of society must be given equal opportunities, equal chances to grow and develop. In the real world, things are different, but unfortunately, in the real world, things are not so. The things are quite different. Most white educational institutions, workplaces, and entertainment centers do not allow colored people to enter. So, in America, in those days, educational institutions, schools, and colleges, workplaces, offices, factories, and entertainment centers, hotels, cafes, clubs, did not allow colored people, white, dark people, or black people to enter. Even discrimination was used. Discrimination was quite common in such institutions. They were not allowed to enter the institutions where white people studied or worked or enjoyed themselves. World without wretchedness. Whose dreams of a world where wretchedness has departed from the lives of man? So wretchedness, as I told you, is misery, poverty. So he dreams of a world where misery no longer exists. It has departed, it has left, it has gone from the lives of men. He wants joy to come and reside in its place. And he wants joy to take the place of wretchedness. Reside, to live there. Reside is the verb, and residence is the noun. That is more common here. But we know that such a world can only exist in a dream world. But our practical world is quite a harsh world. It's a very difficult world. It is quite different from our dream world. So in our actual world, real world, we don't have such parity, such equity, such justice. At the same time, the poem makes us get optimistic thinking of getting a good and happy world. Though on the one hand, when we go through this poem, we feel that this poem is describing just a utopia, an ideal world which is not in existence here, but at the same time we become optimistic, we become hopeful that such a happy world may be possible if people become more careful, more kind, more considerate, and are ready to help others and to bring them out of the marsh, the bad condition of poverty and misery. Conclusion. Whose believe that all races were equal and deserve to be treated with the same amount of respect. So that's the case. Even our Islamic point of view is that all races are equal. There is no superiority on the basis of color, on the basis of race, on the basis of language, on the basis of family background. And in that sense, all must get equal treatment. All must be able to earn respect based on their own deeds. This is what he upholds in his poem. He upholds this, he brings forward this, he favors and supports this idea that all men are equal. The dream is not only the poet's dream, and this dream is actually a universal dream. It's not the individual dream of the poet. It is a universal dream shared by all the people of the world. It is the dream of everyone in the world of suffering. Whoever is suffering in this world at least dreams like the poet. And even those who are enjoying their lives, if they have heart, if they have positive thinking, they also understand, they also realize that all the people of the world must be able to get freedom, happiness, and comfortable living. So, my dear students, that was more explanation of the same poem that we went through in our last lecture. I hope with the help of the poem and its explanation, you will be able to attempt the questions, textual questions given on the poem. So, do attempt those questions, write them, write their answer so that you get maximum practice, and that practice will help you in your exam. Thank you very much.